Hey, with David. So as many of you already know, we are not going to use this block. It's just not going to cut it because of the hole in the side of the block right there. If you didn't see our previous video where I explain how this happened, please watch it. I will link it somewhere here. So now we're going to use a donor block we have in stock over there. So we're going to get that one. So here is a donor block. We already checked if all the threads, the head bolts and such things are in good condition, but because it's still an old piece of old iron of 20 years, we also pull out all the freeze plugs. Here you can see one. This is the back side. You can see how dirty it is. And here the oil passaging plugs. We do this on all our engines because they're all 20 years old basically. Why we do this is because then we can clean the engine throughoutly in the all coolant passengers and the oil passengers, so we know it's all clean and there's no debris left in it. Next we will set it up on the machine. We will bore the cylinders and resurface it, and then we go further to the hone and hone it to size, but you will see that. So the block is on the machine right now. I'm first gonna resurface the deck because the right head is already on the machine. I'm gonna swap it to a boring head when we go bore the cylinders. So now I will index the block to the head to be sure they are exactly parallel to each other, because if the block was at an angle, you would remove more material here than it is here. And if you do that, the block is out of balance because you have more compression on this cylinder than this cylinder. So you have to be sure it's exactly parallel. So 0 is what we want to be all the way around the deck. So now I'm going to move the block to see if the needle is moving. So here you can see it is minus about 1 to 1.5. And then move to the other side. You can see here it's more. So the block is on the right side, is higher than it is on the left side. Of course, we're not going to resurface that way. So we're going to correct the block for that and measure again. So now we corrected the block. If you look at the indicator, now it's like plus 1. And if you sweep it across the deck, you will see the needle goes under the 0. So you see the deck is a little bit warped. Then we go back at this point, and here it's also like plus 1. So now we basically have, on the 4 outer points, it's all 0 or plus 1. So that's a difference of 0.01 of a millimeter. So now we're going to resurface, and when we make the first pass, very light one, you will see the high and the low spots. So let's see how warped this block really is. Get the insert very close, but it's not touching the block. Then I turn on the machine, and then we'll slowly lower it down until you can hear the sound of it cutting, and that will be our 0 point. Here you can hear it. I zero the machine. I take 1/100th of a millimeter extra, and then I will set it in the automatic feed. So now it will make the first very light pass to see all kind of high and low spots in this block. So now we even have a better view about how the low spots are looking, because here it touched all the way. You can see the nice and shiny. If you look around all the cylinders, it's all low spots. Of course, we have a lot of people doing some kind of rebuild, and then they don't resurface the head or even don't resurface the block. And you can imagine, even if you resurface your head by a machine shop and the head's completely flat and you put it on an engine like this, there is a big chance of leaking again, because of course the block itself is not even flat. So if we rebuild any block, we always resurface the blocks because of this. So now we're going to take more passes until it's very clean, and then I will see you next. So now we're done with the resurfacing of the block. It's very smooth now, you can see it's all the way finished. There are no really low spots anymore. The only things you can see is that there are tiny bits of low spots in the cooling passages, but we're not gonna resurface this all out, because if we want to do that, we need to remove so much material that we affect the engine in such a way that it's no good. And on top of that, it doesn't really matter, because here I got a brand new head gasket, and if we lay it on top, you will see that those low spots are in the cooling passages in the seal area, so they are fine. So here you can see that this is the sealing area where the head seals itself, and here is the cooling sealing. So it's in between there, so there's nothing wrong with that. We also checked the surface finish on the deck, because making sure it's flat is one thing, but also having the right surface finish is very important to accept a multi-layer steel gasket. So we always make sure of that. So this is good to go. Next step will be rough boring the cylinders out. But now we're gonna swap heads, because this is the resurface head and the boring heads need to go on. So now the boring head is on the machine. So now I'm gonna get a set of pistons to measure, to set our proper diameter we want to bore. So of course we go with a set of Wostner pistons. We put these pistons in all our engines because they're just a good quality piston. They're made out of aluminum 4032. So they're plenty of strong for this setup. They also have some nice feature of a skirt coating. So that's also a plus point. And they're very lightweight. So they're happy if you go high in the RPMs. We have these available in our web shop in different sizes, from standard bore size to the first oversize and the second oversize. We are happy to help you out with choosing the right pistons for your engine. So now we have the pistons here. I'm gonna measure the diameter of the pistons and set the clearance. So here you can see that we have about that much meat to the zero, because we measured the piston, added the clearance that the piston needs to have, and that will be the final bore size that we're gonna run these pistons. So the boring tool is set to the proper diameter. This way, if we bore it out, there is still a little bit of material left to go to the hone, because now we do only the rough boring, and on the hone we do the finishing, and there we ensure that the cylinder has the proper cross hatch, it's the proper diameter, it's straight, it's round, and it has the best surface finish. Before we proceed to the next cylinder, I'm gonna give this edge a chamfer, because you can imagine when we first resurface the block and after that we bore the hog, that this edge right here is extremely sharp, and this will catch the piston rings when installing. So I'm gonna break this edge. Let's hone. So this wraps up the machine work for this block. Next time you will see it is when we assemble the complete engine. If you enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe, leave a comment, and see you in the next one. Houdoe. Yeah, that's basically it. Nou wordt het weer. Headbolt patterns. Nee, niet de patterns. Patterns. So, this wraps up the machine work. Wraps up the machine work. Hey, your favorite. Bye. Zijn we nou onderhand al klaar van...